Hey guys, it is Patrick, and before you dive into this intermediate accounting lesson, I wanted you to know that you can actually download the notes for this section and specifically this lesson that you're about to watch if you head to my website at www.patrickleemsa.com, or you can head over to the description link that's below, and I'll put that link to those notes below where you can find them, download them, and print them and follow along as you watch this lesson. So go do that, and here is your intermediate accounting lesson. Hey guys, it is Patrick, and I wanted to welcome you to our intermediate accounting course where we're going over some of the advanced topics that you would have learned in Principles of Accounting. Now, in this section, we're giving you an understanding or an overview of the environment in which we do financial accounting, and we're also going to talk more about the structure of financial accounting. And the structure of financial accounting is more of a review of what you should have learned in Principles of Accounting. Now, in this lesson specifically, we are talking about the environment in which we do financial accounting. What does our role in financial accounting look like, and what things we should understand about financial accounting? So if you're ready, let's get started with understanding the business of financial accounting. So the accounting of today is not like the accounting of yesterday. What do we mean by that? What we mean by that is that the accounting career is not the principles or intermediate accounting that you have come to understand. So when you probably started your journey on getting an accounting degree, for instance, you might have thought it was very much like Principles of Accounting, where you got to learn these rules and then you debited these accounts, you credited these accounts, and you prepared financial statements. And while most of that is true, and most of that you're going to do in some roles in your organization, the role that we expect accountants to be nowadays looks a little bit different. Now, they're all important. So the things that we learn in principles and the things that you'll learn in intermediate are all important to the overall aspect of accounting. But accounting today is not about the transactional data work. So I'm going to teach you the transactional data work, like the debits and the credits in intermediate accounting, not because the expectation is that you are going to create these journal entries, but you have to understand how these journal entries work, and you have to understand what these journal entries mean at the end of the day. So we're going to spend a lot of time with journal entries, but understand that as you climb the ladder in accounting, you're going to be doing less journal entries and you're going to be doing more transactional data analysis to make better decisions for the organization that you work for. So it's important, but you need to go beyond that skill set of doing transactional data work. Now, an accountant's role today is to create data and turn that data into information that allows management to make better decisions regarding their operations. So the key word here is that our job is we're going to take this data and we're going to turn it into what we call information. We're going to take that information and we're going to give it to management. And when we give it to management, it's going to help management make better decisions with better decisions in the organization so that the organization can meet the company's objective. Now, it's a kind of misleading here when we talk about our job is just to give information to management, because nowadays what's required of accountants is that not only are you giving information to management, but you better have some answers because you're also helping management make decisions. So it's no longer this idea that we're all working in silos. You are at the table. You are sitting at the management table helping management make decisions. You're no longer just giving them a report and saying, here's the sales for last week. This is the return for last week. And if you need anything else, let me know. No, you're actually presenting that in front of management. And then you're also making decisions with management on their next move in order to do what? In order to meet the company's objectives. So again, thinking beyond the transactional data work, we actually have to do analysis and be able to come up with solutions to questions that nobody is asking. Now, the AICPA did a really good job to help us understand what accountants do on a daily basis. And this is a great illustration of what we do and what the most basic level is to the very highest level of what our job entails. As accountants, we must start developing skills beyond the transactional data. What makes you choose accounting in the first place. So, what probably made you choose accounting was that transactional data where you understood it. It was easy to come by. Now you have to prove yourself, and especially in intermediate accounting, because now you have to be able to synthesize that information so that you can make better decisions for the organization. Now, we must develop the cognitive skills necessary to make decisions when information is presented to you, which you already do, but sometimes you just don't realize it. You're making decisions when you're driving down the road. You see the stoplight go from green to yellow to red. You're making a decision. Maybe not consciously, subconsciously, you're making a decision whether or not you're going to go faster to try to beat that signal, or you're going to slow down to stop at that signal. Same thing here. We're asking you to use your cognitive skills to make determinations to help your organization succeed. So, our job as accountants is we take economic activity, that's the data, and we try to make some assumptions or judgments regarding that so that we can make useful information so that we can, along with management, make good decisions for our organization. So let me give you an example of what I would call modern day accounting. And I wouldn't say this is accounting, but this is the decision-making process that we would expect accountants to go through. And this is a real example, but we're going to see it in two different lights. And I want you to really think about, did you think about this other light from this same data that I'm going to present to you? So this is my modern day example. So this on the right-hand side you see here is my earnings report from DoorDash that I did a long time ago. So I did it for a couple of days because I had nothing better to do. It was actually break. And so I've got these numbers here. And what I wanted to do personally was to see how profitable or not profitable or easy it was to do these delivery gig jobs. They're not really jobs, but gigs. What it would look like. So we've got some data here, and it looks like it was December 28th, 29th, and 30th. And these are my actual results. I made $74.02. And when I look at this, I ask myself what an accountant would say about this earning. So if we break this down, this is kind of the conversation a lot of gig workers have is, the time spent on this to make $74.02, was it worth it? So let's break it down from an accounting standpoint of this being worth it or not. So we started with revenue of $74.02. Now, the thing that you need to know from a tax perspective, if you haven't taken taxes, is that for every mile you drive in your personal car, you can take that as a deduction, as a cost of goods sold kind of a thing. Now, you can do it one of two ways. The easiest way is just to use mileage. So let's use 54.5 cents per mile, which was the effective rate at that time. And I drove 101 miles to make that $74.02. So if I take 101 times 54.5, I get $55.05. What the IRS is saying is that, generally when you take depreciation, fuel, and maintenance, that 101 miles that you drove probably cost you about $55.05, which is a big chunk of this $74.02. So my net income from an accounting standpoint is $18.98. I'm going to need to pay income tax on this because, well, I made money and the federal government wants their money. So the income tax on this would have been about $3.86. The self-employment tax, since I'm not an employee, I'm a contractor, I have to pay the self-employment tax. That's $2.90. My accounting net income was $12.22. So in all of this work, I only made $12.22 based on accounting standards. Now, I worked 6.8 hours, which means it gives me a $2.01 per hour pay. So then the question I ask is DoorDash worth it? And you probably looking at this and going, well, minimum wage is this. There's no way this is worth it. Why would I even deal with this $2.01 an hour? So the next question I would ask is, from an accounting standpoint today, an accountant being educated and trying to find some answers here is, in what instance would it be beneficial to DoorDash even if you're making $2.01 an hour? Because there are people that are doing this right now that are okay making $2.01 an hour. So in what instance would you be okay making $2.01 an hour? Well, let's take a look at this data in a different light. So let's look at it this way. Let's just say revenues again were $74.02. But what did it cost me in gas? So if you think about it, I already own my car. My car is sitting in the garage. So it's really costing me the same to have that car. The only difference might be a little bit more maintenance cost because I'm gonna have to change the oil maybe a little bit more frequently, and then the fuel that the car takes. So really the only variable cost costing me is fuel. So what was my actual gas cost for this 101 miles? Well, based on my calculation, it cost me $8.32. So $8.32 to go 101 miles in my car. And again, my car, there's no other expenses because it's just sitting in my car. It's just sitting in my garage doing nothing. I've already paid the car off. And the only other thing would be maybe maintenance that I would have to do more frequently than if I just left the car in the garage. Income taxes would be $3.86. It would be the same as what I just calculated before. Same thing with self-employment tax. So my cash net income in this case would be $58.94, a marked improvement from the $12 that you saw before. Hours worked, 6 hours. Now my per hour is $9.69 per hour, significantly higher than $2.01. Now, some would argue, but that's not the right approach because you're not accounting for depreciation, you're not accounting for that maintenance. So yeah, you're showing a manipulated $9.69, but you didn't account for all of the necessary costs. True. But what else would I have been doing during that time? I probably would have just been sitting on the couch doing nothing. And instead, at least I made $58.94, which is better than nothing. So again, looking at this, and now I can go, hey, this makes sense to someone to do DoorDash, even though on the onset, it doesn't look profitable. In this case, it might actually be more profitable than we all think. So again, what we're saying here from an accounting standpoint is you need to be able to look at that data and make good assumptions about what's happening. Now, sure, this is going to depreciate my car even more, but I'll tell you this, my car at this point was at 196,000 miles. It was pretty much on its last leg, and I was just going to run it to the ground because I was going to have to buy a new car anyway. So $9.69 is what I get. So accounting today is all about accountants being able to provide better data to make better decisions for management and the company. We, at the end of the day, are consultants. We must have answers ready for questions we may never know is out there. That is the expectation of us today. We're no longer sitting behind a desk doing journal entries and working on Excel spreadsheets. That's only one small part of what we're expected to do. We're actually expected to figure out how to achieve the company's objective for management. So we're all working together to achieve the objectives of the company. And we do that by using the information that we're getting from the accounting system to make educated, what I would say, educated decisions in order to advance our organization. So that's what your job is to do. Don't be so stuck on how to do the journal entries, although that's important, okay? Be mindful of how does this journal entry affect a decision that a company might need to make later on, because every transaction that occurs in accounting will have an effect on the future of the organization. So that is a look at the financial accounting environment. Hoped you learned a little bit about accounting and the environment that we expect you to be in, and hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. If you enjoy what you saw, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to write something in the comment section below, like, I don't know, what's your favorite superhero? If you are looking for the next intermediate accounting lesson, make sure you click on this button right over here. And if you want to head to my website and see all of the lessons that are available, make sure you head to my website right here. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.